Hi there, everyone. Dawn DelVecchio coming to you live from Sedona, Arizona. Today is what is today? May 22nd, 2019. So first, let me say that I pulled a card because I have so many things that I would love to speak about that I needed assistance in getting focused on what I should talk about. Hi, Mom. Hi. Mwah. Love you. So I pulled the card Bridget, which is the card for alchemy in this particular deck called the Mythical Goddess. It's the number 14 in the Major Arcana, which for you tarot users out there, this is the card of Temperance. So alchemy, I was like, alchemy, how does that tie in with any of these possible topics I wanted to share? So, and then I heard the words, the alchemy of collective awakening, the alchemy of collective awakening. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Before I begin, as always, I would like to request that if you find value in this, if you're watching this now live with me or later on at some point, please give it a thumbs up, a heart. Share it with a friend, share it on your Facebook page. If you're watching this on YouTube, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Let me know, help navigate me if I don't clarify things, ask questions, and just share it if you feel there's someone who would benefit from the message. So that's the first thing I want to say. Second is I want to thank all of you out there who joined me on Saturday for the full moon release ceremony online. That was a free event that I offered to my community primarily. Thank you for the love. Mwah, mwah, I love you back. And so who else is? Oh, Tamara. Hi. Thank you. Where was I? Thank you to those who joined me on Saturday. I don't even know how many. There were 40 something registered, about 20 of you showed up, and a number of you have opted to join me for at least the foundation package to start. So I offered a special at that time, and I may do that again, but right now I've got quite a few. So I'm pretty good to go for a bit, and I would love to, but I would love to work with any of you who really feel like you have a vision. You have some way you want to work with people and you need more support in either getting direction, clarity, momentum, or simply to really bring that in. So again, my thanks. I will announce if I do one of those events again, which are free, and then you can choose to continue with me after that. Now, that's that stuff. Now I want to talk about the alchemy of collective awakening. So I'm going to do my little thing here and tune in and notice what needs to come forward, because it feels like there's a lot, and I'm not really sure if this should all be delivered or will all be delivered in one message or in a number of messages. So let me just connect in and see what serves us, the highest good of all of us who will watch this and share this. The word alchemy comes from the ancient practices of the Magi of transforming base metal into gold. Now, did magicians literally turn base metal into gold? We may never know. Often this term alchemy is used in the spiritual and psycho-spiritual communities as a metaphor for taking the base metal of our wounds, fears, deep conditioned programming that does not serve us, and through various healing practices, transmuting that baser energy into the gold of wisdom, into the gold of reunification with your divine self. And so this card, Alchemy, and the alchemy of collective awakening speaks to the power that happens when we as a collective make the choice to stop activating the frequencies of fear, hate, and attack, and choose instead to go vertical into connection with our divine creator selves, our divine union with the divine source of all that is, and instead choose to share with the collective the higher frequencies of love, forgiveness, and understanding. As we know, this is a time of great change. You hear me say this all the time. The frequencies of planet Earth have increased, and that does not allow for us to hold so much of the base energies. So on the one hand, there's a small group of us, planetarily, not just in the West, who are awakening. We could say awakening. We are awakening to realize that the system as it has been shared with us, whether that's health systems, political systems, religious systems, education systems, etc., is not necessarily the best or only way. And in fact, many of us are coming to understand that not only is it not the best way, it's actually working against us. It's destroying the planet, destroying relationships, destroying families, communities, etc. It does not work. So there's on the one hand, the awakening of what I call the political awakening, people who realize like, whoa, this isn't working, right? Then there's the spiritual awakening ones, the ones who are beginning to want to return to love, to return to God, to return to Mother, Father, God, to live a spiritual life in the world, to connect with a higher reason for being, a deeper, wiser sense of why they are here, someone who is purpose-driven, whether that's in a traditional religion or a spiritual practice. Either way, and in both cases, this awakening is informed by the shifting of the ages and the nature of where we are as a solar system in the galaxy. And it is informing also, like in other words, we are being bathed in higher vibrational frequencies. That's triggering questions for us and awarenesses in us. And that questioning and that awareness is sending us on spiritual paths. And this has been going on for a long time, or a clearer awareness of what's going on and what we're choosing to not buy into on a conscious level anymore. Or we're consciously choosing to not buy into unconscious things anymore. That's raising the frequency, so that's feeding it back to the planet and sharing it with the collective. So there's kind of an alchemy, a flow of alchemy, if you will, that as some of us begin to awaken and recognize that we no longer want to participate in the dominant paradigm in the way we used to, in an unconscious way, we upload that to the collective, and then that filters into the collective, and it serves that more and more of us. It's the rising tide lifts all ships. Okay, so that is really the alchemy of collective awakening, that the more of us do it, the more we make these frequencies available for others to wake up. Now, we know we are still a very small percentage on the planet. We are not the masses, we're not even 50%. But the power we have is mighty. And if any of you read my post here on Facebook the other day with the Tower card, the tarot card of the Tower, I talked about that. We are few, but we are mighty. We are creating the alchemy of change, the alchemy of awakening on the planet, and we are sharing it with the collective. Now, this is very important because the masses are still asleep, and the masses are being conditioned into deeper states of dense base metal consciousness. So I'm going to point to a couple of things here, and I can already feel discomfort and resistance in myself to talk about this, but I feel it's really important. So I just want to connect back in now and see how to weave this next thread in, because it's an important one. And if you are a leader, a helper, a teacher, an awakening one in any way, you don't have to even be a teacher, a parent, a friend, it's really important to understand the bigger picture of what's going on here, the game that's being played. So give me a moment here. As a collective, the human family is being played by a very small percentage of controllers on this planet. We are being played to be divided so that we can continue to be oppressed and conquered. I know that sounds really intense, and the deeper that I study this stuff, the more obvious it is. So if you were to remove yourself from fear, remove yourself from the belief in whatever mainstream media is telling you, and observe it as if you were a third and neutral party, not part of the whole scene. And just watch what's going on. Just watch. What you'll start to see is that every few weeks there's a cycle of fear. That you are being fed the next thing to freak out about. And there's plenty of it to freak out about. And I am not the only one to suggest that this has not so much to do with changing the structures from the inside or dealing with the individual issues. And it has everything to do with keeping you down in the lower frequencies of fear and attack against the other side. And as long as we keep doing this dance, people, we're uploading to the collective hate, fear, and we're not looking at where the real problem is. The real problem is not what your neighbor's belief is that's different than you. The real problem is a control system that wants to keep us in the lower frequencies. So I want to address another place where we're seeing this, and because what I'm doing right now is touching on deep, deep topics that we can go further into. So if you want to hear more about this, leave me a message. Ask me questions. Start commentary in the thread so we can unpack this more, because this is really a big topic. But I want to touch on another piece of this here, which is the collective alchemy of staying in low frequency states. So I'm going to use an example from, I'm going to use media entertainment. Now there's all of these made for TV series, right? And we know that there was this, what is this one? The Game of Thrones. Now full disclosure here, I have never watched it. I have only read what others describe about it, okay? And people I know who watch it have tell me, some backstory at different times. Whenever we have an event like a grand finale or Super Bowl, whatever it is, masses of people get in front of their TV at the same time and watch it. And when that entertainment is full of satanic symbolism, sadism, abuse of children, murder, murderous rage, hate, torture, decapitation, incest, fill in the blank. What do you think we are doing alchemically? The alchemy of collective consciousness is spinning into the very antithesis of awakening. No matter how well directed, no matter how fantastic the script, no matter how amazing the costumes, when masses of people watch entertainment like Super Bowl, what's that, midterm, shows you how much I know about football, the halftime break, full of satanic symbolism, year after year after year. When the masses of people watch a show full of violence, hate, murder, terror, torture, you're all running those frequencies inside of yourself of fear or hate against the bad guy or victimization, etc. And people, we have to start taking responsibility for our frequency at even a deeper level, at the deepest level. That when we participate collectively in the frequencies of fear, hate, and attack, whether that's because we've just been triggered by an abortion bill that's put on the block for voting, or we just go, oh, it's just entertainment. I'm going to watch this show here with everyone else, with tens of thousands of others. We are actually uploading to the collective the very thing that's not going to serve an awakening on this planet. And so I know that's not very pleasant to share, but I feel it's super, super important. The alchemy of collective awakening is something that is done through a conscious choice to no longer participate in low vibrational frequency, fear, hate, attack, judgment, torture, sadism, and Satanism, even if you're just calling it entertainment. I know that's really intense. It feels really intense moving through me. So I don't want to come off as this energy. And I feel like we really have to be aware of this. We really have to say, what am I doing with my frequency right now? What am I doing with it? What am I thinking about? What am I choosing to do with my free will, with my time, my energy, and my focus? So in the blog, the post that I wrote the other day with the tower, and you can go into my thread and look for it, the one with the picture of the tower card. I referred specifically to 2 legislative things that are happening here in the United States. So for my friends overseas, please forgive me my U.S. focus sometimes. I would say to that, not only to justify that I am, of course, an American citizen, but I'm an international person, but that this is the belly of the beast. And this is the place, one of the places on the planet where the populace are being deeply, deeply manipulated, where they still believe they are living in the land of the free and the home of the brave, and we're not. So, and of course, we know that the influences of America go out far and wide everywhere else. So please indulge me that I'm speaking about some things that seem very specific American. I do feel, I do my best to extend that to a concept and not just stick with the issues that are Americana. Okay, so we got these 2 things. We've got the vaccine issue and the abortion issue. And so what happens is people who would be deeply negatively impacted by this, and I have dear friends and family who would be, especially the vaccine thing, if they're forced to vaccinate their children who are already vaccine injured or already have problems, or any of these other things. It's easy to get triggered into fear, and I totally understand that. I do. And some of us need to take action. Some people need to make decisions and take action to really have their voices heard. I get it. And it's about the frequency we do it with. Because if we go into attack and hate and this back and forth without actually looking at the deeper agenda here of keeping us divided, keeping us in fear frequency, and keeping a system of oppression where so few have so much and so many have so little, that women feel forced to have abortions, that people live in fear that they're not going to be able to make sovereign choices for themselves or their families. These are the issues we have to look at. These are the places we have to go, all right, what needs to really happen here? And what do I need to do to shift my frequency so that I'm not in fear and hate and attack? And then from that place of saying, I connect with my divine eternal self. I am as the beloved Mother, Father, God created me. I am a child of the beloved Mother, Father, God. Let me return to the love space and say, right, what is mine to do here? Not from fear, attack, and hate, but from love. Is this mine to take action on? And if so, what is the action I need to take? So, as always, I ask you to let me know if this is not making sense. Navigate me to unpack this further so that this is in service to you and so that you may feel really clear about why you're here, what you're doing, and have the ability to come back to your own inner deep alignment so that you move in the world with high frequency. So to summarize, remember that we are as our frequency is. Or we create as our frequency is. When we are in low vibrational frequency, we are creating the alchemy that brings that back to us. If we want to really transmute the base metal of our lower fear-based frequencies. We have to do our own inner work, and we have to make conscious choices about what we're doing with our thoughts and our energy. So consider the next time you want to watch a form of entertainment that you know the masses are watching that's full of violence, hate, murder, torture, and fear. Consider what you are contributing to the collective. Consider the next time you see the next thing on the media, whether it's gun control or vaccines or this, that, or the other, that's triggering fear, 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 fear. It's fear porn. Do you want to buy into it? So these are intense times, and they call for strong characters. They call for us all to have the courage and the love to return to our own truth, to face our own inner shadows, and to stand for love and light instead of fear and hate and attack. Let me connect in and see if there's anything else. I just want to share too, on a little bit of a lighter note. If you really resonate with what I do, remember that I do offer retreats. So if you would love to be in a circle, and the retreats right now that I offer, I work with women. My husband works with men. I don't work with both right now in the retreat setting. One day perhaps, but right now I'm speaking specifically to those of you who are women. If you would love to go deeper into cultivating your own love light, your skills and abilities to hold space for others, your capacity to return to love when you are in fear, and to be in a circle of sisters and work some serious, fun, extraordinary, transformational alchemy with a group of others, then I invite you to consider participating in one of my retreats. My next one is in Bali in October. Over the Halloween weekend, it is going to be powerful and magical, or over the Halloween week, excuse me. I put the link actually at the top, where would it be? At the top of this video. So you can click that link, find out more about that. And again, as always, I ask you that if you found value in this, to give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, share it with someone, share it with friends. If it doesn't make sense to you, if something I said is not clear, you want clarity, ask me, so that you're helping me to be more clear to help others. So please don't hesitate to ask me questions. And also, if you disagree, I would love to hear from you if you disagree. Again, keep the vibe high, keep it from the place of love. Let's find out how we can be the rising tide that lifts all ships, and use the alchemy of collective awakening to serve the light and the love that we all truly are. And with that, my dear friends, I'm going to sign off for today. Thank you so much, all of you who are here and all of you yet to watch. I love you very much. Bye for now.